who put in the work decades. 9:30. Let's go to Adriana Cotero. And Adriana, I don't know if you heard that interview there with the major, but pretty interesting stuff. It kind of seems like he was saying that minus the incoming, that they kind of have it. I mean, knock on wood here. They kind of have it under control over there in Manilo.
Yeah, good morning. Hi, Chris. Hi, Bree. Happy Monday to you guys. Yeah, I was listening in for a bit there until I had to turn off the sound so I can get on here. But yeah, so I know that early on they had put their restrictions and their protocol in place, and while everyone else was doing, a mandatory 2 weeks, they had set their guidelines for an entire month. So I know that it's nearing the end date here. So that was going to be a question I had, is do they plan to lift some of those restrictions then, since it's been that 1 month, or are they going to continue? Are they going to let some incoming? And it sounds like they do, for the most part, have it under control, because there was a moment there where I think all of us were kind of in fear that there could be an outbreak in the prison.
And so you had told me last night that they've done the mask thing. That other than the incoming, that's something that they're working on. Are you satisfied with the resolution of the testing of these recruits? He had said they're still waiting for 2 of those test results.
Right. So yeah. I had asked. It's something I had kept on asking, or at least requesting information on from Anton. Is where are we at with those testing? How's it going? How many people have tested positive? And he's always gotten back to me right away. But interestingly enough, whenever he had first told us that the Department of Corrections recruit that tested positive, and that there wasn't 17 officers that were in close contact in the beginning, is what it was at first. I think it was only like 13 that they had mentioned. So I guess there was others that came out of the on-site visit that happened with the public health CDC staff. And so then, but since we found out then there were 17 that were in close contact, the last I had reported was that 11 of them had been cleared from the virus, and that there were still 6 pending results. But now there's 2, so there haven't been any confirmed cases then with that, which is great. And also last week he told me that recruit who did test positive was expected to start back up to work at the facility, and that he has gone through the mandatory process, allowing him to clear to return to training. So there were more that came out of it initially whenever they first reported the recruit and how many people were in close contact with him. But as far as there hasn't been any other confirmed cases from the prison.
Can we switch gears to education? I know that she covers crime and education. So what do you have on education for us, Adriana?
Yeah. So I was going to give a quick update. I like to check in at the beginning of the week with Department of Education, just asking about the GrabNGo program, because we know it's been rather successful and there has been a demand for it. So as of today, they have served 530,000 meals to date, and that is since their start date, which was on March 23rd. As we reported last week, the governor approved the $1 million in support needed to continue the program throughout the summer. So this isn't something that the department would normally budget for, which is why they needed the approval for the support. And Superintendent John Fernandez had said that they are now in the process of confirming details with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration in order to move forward. So it's looking like the program will, for the most part, continue throughout the summer. We know for sure it's going to continue until April 7th. But as far as just
August 7th.
Yeah, August 7th. Yep.
Okay.
And so then there's just, I guess they're in the process of just confirming with the feds right now, but that the local amount was approved. So that includes, GDOE staff volunteering from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., serving 24,000 meals still, and that breaks down to 12,000 lunch and 12,000 breakfast meals to all the students on island at the 12 site locations still. In addition, since they've already served 430,000 meals to date, by the time we actually, if you think about it, by the time we actually reach the end of the originally set school year date, which is the end of next month, I know something that Fernanda said that I kind of noted and acknowledged was that we would be reaching maybe nearly 1 million meals served by the end of within the next month, which is that's a lot of meals served.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-boggling. And again, we've been saying this since the beginning. DOE, this is the first GDOE. This is the first thing that they really kind of, put their heads together when the decision was made that we weren't going to have classes. They said, "Oh, how are kids going to eat?" And so I really can't thank them enough. It's been amazing, and I just wish that there was that same dedication and drive to provide the same type of assistance from the rest of the government of Guam, and specifically the governor's office.
Yeah, it was definitely something they pushed for early on, and actually it was before they even determined if the school year was going to end early or not.
You're right.
It was right away whenever they closed down the schools that within, I think it was only within like 5 days or what have you, they started the program right away, and then they saw how many meals they needed, and they started bringing more in and more in. So,
right.
It has been their push, and then they also did the home learning resource page, which is available still and includes weekly lessons. And that's online at GDOE.net. Going back,
you said over 500,000 meals have been given out by GDOE?
Yeah, to date. So I just got that number this morning. So 530,000 meals.
So that's
exactly.
a 500,000 meals have been given out on Guam.
Since March 23rd. So within a month.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying if you think about it, by the time we reach the calendared end date, which would be in a month from now, we very well may reach 1 million meals served on Guam. And that's to all students again. So not just public schools, that's private, charter, everything. All students.
Great. I just want to give them another round of applause. We give them pretty much every morning, but that's just amazing.
Exactly, and that's why it's something that I've wanted to continue asking, especially at the beginning of the week, just to see where they're at, because that number it just continues to grow and grow and grow. So
right.
We will see, and then if it does continue throughout the summer, who knows? We could be reaching 2 million, 3 million, even more. So. Another school that I had spoken with last week was the Science is Fun and Awesome Learning Academy Charter School.
Right.
So they had just recently they made a decision to have students' third quarter grades roll over to their fourth quarter grades, and there's roughly about 235 students there that attend that charter school, and they're going to be implementing virtual lessons as well for the remainder of the school year, but those will be graded, and they'll be adding a percentage to the fourth quarter grades. So I had spoke with the principal briefly, and he mentioned that they're still determining how the final grading will work for the fourth quarter, and he wants to follow up this week, actually. But I thought something very interesting that with their virtual lessons that he mentioned to me was that the main reason that they wanted to continue was to provide some normalcy to the students, and they're planning to include in their lesson plans some coping mechanisms for students during this time, because they said that a lot of their students, they have parents that are, on the front lines, and they even just had students reaching out. So they wanted to provide some coping mechanisms. So the principal was mentioning to me that he would actually be interested in doing a Zoom interview where they can actually provide those coping mechanisms for the entire island as well that they plan to bring on.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of good, especially because, we're reaching over a month. We see people getting restless, and I'm sure there's, there's a lot of different things, dealing with mental health and the different stresses that come with each day. So I thought it would be really interesting to get him on here as well.
Definitely.
So you mentioned they're meeting tomorrow, so hopefully we'll plan something midweek after they meet and decide how they plan to implement that course into their virtual lessons, and then how they plan to do their final grading.
Okay, Adriana, appreciate it. Anything else you want to add and share with us what you're working on for today?
I think additionally the other thing that I plan to work on, and I wanted to follow Sergeant Paul DePauw on, is that, last week, early in the week, I think it was on Monday, there was a break-in at Wettingell Elementary School, and then on Thursday there was another one at George Washington, and another one on Friday. So, and I think they're still looking for any suspects when it comes to these cases. So I just wanted to speak with him roughly on all these break-ins that have been happening, and if anyone does have any information, of course, contact GuamCrimeStoppersWeb.com. But yeah, just, there's just been quite a few break-ins lately in these schools.
Well, good eye, Adriana. Good eye. Thank you.
Yeah,
okay.
Of course.
Wash your hands.
Yeah, you too.
Do your meditation.
Yeah, I will.
I know you will. Okay.
Well, I want.
Bye, guys.
No, I just wanted to pass along that the Guam Fire Department, they just released information about the incident that occurred Saturday night involving a missing spear fisherman. GFD spokesperson Kevin Riley saying that E911, they received the call around 9:30 p.m. Saturday. A man in his late 40s, early 50s had been spearfishing at Pago Bay. Units responded from Jutnya as well as Rescue 1 and Rescue 2, the Coast Guard, HSC 25, and the man's body was located inside